welcome back, guys, to the episode 5 of Cultrtalk. This podcast is sponsored by
Culture. That is me. Oh, come on, man. First time I got it wrong, but we're back. This by Culture. That is me and Shuhan. That is our marketing company where we mainly focus on small businesses and startups and trying to get their reach maximized on social media platforms. And also we have House of Sheba.
Yeah, so House of Sheba is going to be your one-stop shop for beauty, skincare and hair care products catered to women with melanin-rich skin, and that's coming to the UK in 2019. So make sure to check the socials, all in the description box below. And today we have our first guest, Farhan, who's joining us.
Wait, just to reiterate, our second guest.
Second guest.
Josh, man, come on, man.
True,
So
messed that one up.
I would have loved to be the first, but someone beat me to it.
Riz got that one.
Riz got in there. It's been we've been in talks for a while now, haven't we?
Yeah, man, since like December.
Before we released it, we
man.
spoke to you about
Time
it, but
ago.
finally managed to get our timetables.
Bro, I'm mad excited to be here. I can't lie.
Yeah.
You know when I watch it on YouTube, I see you lot do your little sponsor thing.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
yeah.
now you're here. Now I'm here.
Now
It's a bit
you're
surreal.
here. Yeah.
No, it's good. We were thinking about it because you have your own podcast.
Yeah. Come on, man. Gotta plug me, man.
Yeah,
Little
of course,
shout
the
out to
Tomato
the
podcast.
Tomato
Yeah,
podcast.
so check
Check it
that
out,
out.
guys.
Please listen.
Yeah.
Please listen.
So today we thought, why don't you start off about saying a bit about yourself?
All right, cool. So I feel like
You're on the spot.
Yeah,
you know
it's
that
fun.
once you start a new job where you go to
Yeah,
a new
yeah,
school,
you
and
have
like
to
everyone
explain.
go around and say your name.
Yeah.
So my name's Farhan.
Yeah.
My name's Farhan. I'm 22 years old. Bruv, it's mad. Like, there's so many things happening in life right now. So at the minute, I am self-employed. Me and my partner, we have a children's cookery school.
Nice.
So it's like it's a franchise.
Oh wow, I didn't even know about
Yeah, we
that.
don't know that.
Yeah, man. We only started it like 5 months ago.
Okay.
So what we do is we go to schools, we do after school clubs, we do weekend classes and holiday workshops as well.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that's my daytime, and I recently picked up an evening job as well because life's mad peak right now.
Yeah.
So obviously in need. I'm a delivery driver.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
What's it wait for?
It's a restaurant. Yeah. But it's so mad because like I think a week and a half ago I had a crazy accident, so my car got written off.
No way.
Yeah,
Do you want to go into that one now?
I can't. Yeah, I
Go
don't
for
mind.
it. I'd be interested.
Yeah.
What happened to your car?
Oh my god! So obviously, I explained everything on the Tomato podcast.
Yeah, so go check that.
Episode 23. Check that out. So I was driving because I pick up my girl in the morning, and then we go to work together. And I was on my way, rush hour, 9 a.m. or whatever. Just dumb drivers everywhere. There's this road that leads into Hyde Park.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I know that road.
You know that
Yeah,
road,
yeah,
Serpentine
always
Road
so.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
It's
there's
around
a
your
traffic
base.
light before, which has 2 lanes.
Mm.
But the moment you go inside Hyde Park, it's 1 lane.
Yeah.
So this Donny's like on
Try
the left
to
of me.
squeeze.
He's like he's a cab driver because I found out afterward. But he's driving a Mercedes. So you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
So green light, and then I'm gone. I'm driving, and because it's like narrow, everyone tries to squeeze in first. So I've gone in first, and then next minute I just see some car just like whiz past me on the right, but he was so close to the car.
Yeah.
It was like mad tight. So I was mad pissed off.
Yeah.
And my
Yeah,
road rage is so bad. And I
Really?
was tested that day, and obviously it got the better of me. So I beeped him, and then afterwards I let it go. I was like, all right, cool, let it go. He's gone.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah. He took the piss.
Nah.
So I was
Master
so I did the stupid mistake of chasing him down. Yeah, like I wanted to scare him in it. That's the dumbest thing you could do. And then there's a car in front of him, and there's like a bump. Yeah, like a speed bump. So the car in front of him slows down for the speed bump.
Yeah.
My man stops.
Yeah.
He
harsh
stops
braking.
completely.
Oh yeah, FYI, the speed bumps are massive there.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah. But he's like, the way he stops here, it's like the moment the car hit
abrupt.
his car, I swear down, I don't know if this was his intention, but I felt like he just did it on purpose because he wanted me to crash into him because he knew that I was like pissed off.
Yeah,
It's one of them ones. So I crashed into him, and then the Don comes out of the car. I don't want to be stereotypical, but young Pakistani boy.
Oh, okay.
And it was one of them ones I was just like, this is hella booky. Because you know, Asians, like a lot of Asians do that thing where you crash into them and then
They run.
you claim money.
Yeah, they do run as well.
Yeah.
Some of them just leave their car. They don't care. Yeah.
But his car was alright.
Okay.
Have you seen the picture?
No.
I don't know if I should
I've seen
I
it.
don't know if I
Yeah,
should show it now because
yeah,
obviously.
I've seen it now.
But yeah, the car got written off,
Yeah.
so they can't fix it.
Wow.
And I recently bought something new, but it's not coming until Tuesday. So I've been having to rent from Enterprise like per day, like £36.
Yeah,
so I'm getting nothing.
That's
I have to just go to work and just slave away, but just get nothing. So yeah, man, it's been, this week has been mad.
That's crazy.
We've still got time to join Cultrtalk. That's good.
Yeah, bro, no, 100%. I was going to miss it, man. Cool, man.
Going back to your idea about, you said you started something with your partner, obviously. That's one of the main topics should be today is about persistence and starting ideas and like what it takes and is it worth it to start an idea. You've done what House of Sheba now. We've got obviously By Culture going on, and we're also thinking of Minds Matter. Like, how worth it do you think it is to start from early?
Bro, it's so fucking worth it, man. You lot are at a ripe young age, where you could just do it. Like, you've got nothing to lose. Like me, I've got nothing to lose right now. That's why I did it. Like, before I started this, I was at a very successful marketing company, advertising company, like one of the leading in health and industry. And my office was in Blackfriars, and then we moved to Old Street.
Nice.
So, bruv, like,
what place is this?
It's a company called Ogilvy.
Oh, I never heard.
And they were, I don't know if you lot know there's a building in Blackfriars, I forgot what it's called, but it always appears on The Apprentice every year.
The Bullet one.
No, you're talking about the Gherkin.
No, that's the Gherkin. So there's one by by Blackfriars Bridge, but The Apprentice always appears on it. And brother, I was living the high life. Like, the offices were just ridiculous. That's so creative.
That's mad.
Like, and I was doing a bit of video work for them as well. And then literally, I don't know what got into me, but I went from all the way up here, from like, now we're renting an office which is no bigger than this in Park Royal, in the heart of an industrial estate.
Wow.
And starting from rock bottom. And that's because I've got nothing to lose. I've got no commitment. I've got no family. So like, take advantage of it whilst you can, like, for real. Because you won't have, I mean, once you've got your commitments, that's it. Like, you're tied down and you've got nothing. You've got pretty much a lot of things to risk.
Yeah, definitely. Like, if you're not starting it now, then it's like little things are going to start coming up in the future. Like, even with masters, like, I remember I asked in the summer so many people, I was like, should I do my masters or not? And like, I remember even asked my Uber driver, because Uber drivers used to ask me like, oh, what's your education, what are you doing? That's why I want to do masters, but I don't know. And he goes, listen, mate, as the years go on, commitment's going to come up. This is going to happen, that's going to happen, and then you're going to say, I'll go back next year, and you're going to end up being like 30, being like, oh yeah, I wish I did
that's
my
what
masters.
everyone's told me. I was speaking to people in industry as well, and they've all told me now is the time to experiment. Now is the time to test the waters and see what you really want to do. So find something you love and then keep doing it.
And it's that persistence key element to everything. It's like, I feel like some people are easily get into an idea, and I've seen it for myself. I've done ideas, and like the hype's there for like say a week.
Yeah, bro.
And once the hype dies down, and my persistence, it shows that my persistence and stuff is just not there, and I'm not doing anything about it. Like for example, like what have you started like?
I've done mad YouTube channels which have dropped off in the past, like, and it will either be like, I feel like other people's perceptions, people might not like it, or I'll think like maybe I should just stop, it's not going to be successful, or like, but those things shouldn't really have that kind of effect on you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should just be you and do what you do because you love it, you know what I'm saying? And you shouldn't feel obliged to do something just because, for example, family say you have to do it, or like, you know, or any other kind of social pressures. Like, you should just do it because you want to do it.
With you do that hypebeast like stuff. You like recently. How come you've never turned that into say something, or is that just like a market that's not really worth it? What stopped you?
It's a $1 billion industry.
That's what I always.
It's honestly thinking. I'd love to get into it. But it takes a lot of time. You need to. It's a full-time job basically. If you want to get into it.
All right.
Like I think it was in first or second year, I started a blog called Zero, based in London. And I wanted to develop that into a store where we sell Yeezys, rare like Nike trainers, everything. But then it got to a point where uni was at my back. And I wasn't able to keep up with going out and doing like photo shoots and planning stores and like actually making money to pay for rent, to pay for employees while at university at the same time. So I've kind of had to put that on pause, and it's died down. Like, I don't see myself going back into that. Okay. Obviously, I love the culture
of
the sneaker industry, the hype market, and everything. It's like thrilling. You're meeting someone that has the same interest in you.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's just a pair of shoes, it's much deeper than that. It's much deeper than a pair of shoes.
All those Supreme Qs used to stand in.
Yeah, that's mad.
I've broken like my knees. I've had like mad lactic acid in my knees. Wasn't able to like just by standing in the same place for 6 hours.
Yo, this guy has been a bad influence on me. Yeah, I remember in first. in first year he'd be like all about, this has come out. This is let's go to Oxford.
And he just cops that in.
But then it turned to a point. It got to a point where every single Wednesday, me and him would go to Oxford Circus before I lecture. Would literally spend. Like, we'll just find
at least like
£50 every Wednesday, have a meal, and then come.
Miss uni, man.
But it wasn't me. This guy would come up, show me his phone, but this is out, this is releasing, let's go to this store, let's go to that store. And we'd literally just go and spend money, have the meal, and then come back. And like every week it was like £60 every Wednesday. And like every Wednesday, I was like,
now we're smarter than that. We don't splash out every week.
It's all about money management now.
Have to, man. When you want to work on like projects in the future and you want to plan, you have to sacrifice some of the things that you enjoy.
Yeah, for sure.
I was having a conversation with you before you wanted to come here, and I really like the point where you spoke about failures. I feel like into that. Failures, we should definitely get into that and how to overcome that. And then from failures, a lot of subheadings, but let's just start off with failures and like how to overcome failures and what failures, like people see failures in a negative light. It doesn't always have to be.
All right, well, I'll start off by saying I think you're all fortunate to have the master of failures sitting in front of you.
Come on.
Levels. Because, like, you lot are talking about your experiences and doing this, that, and the other. Like, the amount of stuff that I've started half-heartedly and just not pursued it. I'm talking about from the ripe age of, like, 16. Had an idea of, like, building a clothing brand. 2 different clothing brands.
No man there.
And everything was done. The marketing, the market research, the designs, even ideas about where to open the stores. Like, I've got a massive folder on my laptop. Everything is there. I didn't pursue it. And it's still there. The blueprint is still there for it to be pursued. But it's like, like you said, you give it 1 week, you give it 2 weeks. Like, there's a barrier in front of you. Maybe like you have to do a large amount of research, and you're just like, like I can't be bothered.
Yeah, you stop the idea.
Yeah, you stop it, and then boom. So there's like, personally, I've got to a point now where I thrive off it. Like, I thrive off failure. Like, I love it because you can only fail so many times.
Yeah.
So, back in the days when I used to come across something and it never used to work out, I used to get really demotivated. So YouTube was a massive, big, but like that hit me really hard. Like, YouTube was, I think, the second biggest passion in my life. The first one, when I was in uni, first year, I was doing network marketing. So I don't know if you lot know about network marketing. They call it the pyramid scheme, yeah?
We've come across that, but haven't we?
Yeah, I've come across that a lot.
Bro, yeah, so you lot must have come off like 5-6 different companies. Me, I was mad. I don't know what the word is for it when you're just... I was mad gullible. So I'd go for, whatever came in front of me. I just got really excited easily. But this opportunity came up at like, I think, the end of sixth form, yeah? So I was still really young. And I wasn't legally the age. I wasn't legally aged. Is that even a word?
Aged.
I wasn't legally aged to do it. So I had to go under my dad's name. Don't do this if you're, don't get any ideas from
some aspects, follow us, but some aspects, just it's just for you to hear,
So anyway, so I started it first year of uni. I loved it. This was the best experience of my life. I think if I've taken anything away from life, and if there's anything that's given me the personal growth, it's network marketing. Honestly, a lot of people have a lot of negative things to say about it, but it's the best thing you can do to become an individual who's going to be successful, because you're equipped. You're given something. You're given a bag of tools, and you're asked to work with it. And I'll give you an example. We went on a business trip to Barcelona. I was 17 years old. It was like a convention. Everyone hyped about it, and it's the hype was driven to get sales of the tickets. So
that's how it is.
Yeah, so that's how it is. So we went over there, and obviously being 17, you don't have much money. Like we were tight. We were fucking tight. We had to share like hotel rooms, and everything was a bit sort of messed up. Someone messed up the hotel rooms. Someone booked an apartment which was like had no gas or electricity. We were sleeping on mattresses. There was one night when me and the individual who brought me into the business, like lifelong friend, known him since nursery, we went out looking for somewhere to stay, and we ended up conking out in a hotel lobby for an hour. Wow. And this was one night before the business convention. So I will always remember that moment for the I think for the rest of my life, because it was at that moment where I realized that shit, like, this is my story. You know, everyone who's successful enough, anyone who's achieved something, they will always have, you know, that sort of similar storyline where
a story that they built up on.
Yeah. So that's why I say I always thrive off it. Like, no matter how many failures, like I said, YouTube is a big one because I was so passionate about it. I was, you know, recording a video every week. I spent so much time editing, like 6-7 hours on a weekend. So my weekends would be taken up. And my last video actually was a year ago around this time, a year ago in February, and then I just lost complete motivation for it. The market was just so tapped. Everyone was doing it, and it was just like, I just felt like I was part of the, you know, I was a sheep just doing what everyone else was doing.
And what would you say was the root cause of that for YouTube, especially? Because you're someone who's very like personable. Like I'd say like you make content where like you can relate to it. So where did you feel like at that point, like you just felt like it was all lost and you couldn't progress with it?
There's this one thing that everyone does, and it's a mad deception, and I don't know if you guys do it as well, but if anyone is doing this one thing, I'd advise you to stop, is that telling yourself that you're doing it because you love doing it, which is partly true, so this is a little bit controversial, but I feel like everyone has an agenda. So my agenda to make this podcast is so that I can get my voice heard, my opinions expressed, but I also want to grow an audience. I want to grow a platform, and I want to become somewhat influential in that field. Do you get it? But with YouTube, it was just like, I'm doing it because I love doing it. I'm doing it because I love being creative. But I completely suppressed the side of I want to grow my platform. I want to become, you know, someone. And for me at that stage, it was a bit like, not cliche, but I didn't want to be the guy who wanted to make a platform because I wanted to be someone from YouTube. But eventually at the end, I felt like I was chasing. I was looking at this person.
Yeah, it's just when you start looking at different people.
Other people.
Yeah, it was like
I did the same. Like I wanted to do a YouTube channel on gaming. But that's because at that time I was watching all these gaming YouTubers. I was watching Ninja. And I was like, I want to, like, it wasn't because personally I was interested in it. It's because I saw them doing it. I was like, I want to do this. Like, it wasn't a personal interest. But that's why this podcast for me was different, is because it's something I haven't just jumped the gun and done. So I've been saying 3 years ago, I've been listening, like, it's been a while I've been listening to podcasts, and it's been a while I've been in the talks for it. And then another thing I kept telling you, and I've spoken to you as well, it's like an idea for me usually dies out after a week of us starting. This has been going on for like a month and a bit now. And the fact, and every single day we message on the chat constantly, and we're constantly just excited, constantly planning. And it's like, it just shows if it's something we're not here saying we want to become famous or make money. It's us giving a voice, and it's something we enjoy doing. You know, if you get what I mean.
And when you enjoy it to that level, that's when you'll see it reflect in the people who watch it. Like the way this has come about compared to any of my other YouTube channels or any other failures which I've come across, like people are actually watching us and actually enjoying it, and we get messages from people, and it's rewarding. You know, the feedback's been crazy. Like, it's been negative or positive, like, but mostly 95% of the time positive. You know, and like that's what keeps us going. And I think what you're saying is really important in terms of like thriving off of failure, not seeing it as a knockdown, you know, like just using it as a way to propel yourself forward, you know, to learn from it, you know, take it as a learning curve rather than, you know, an L, like, you know.
I feel like everyone has a niche, and the moment you realize what that niche is, it's like
there's no one stopping.
Because life itself is an experiment. You go around and I mean, how many jobs like do you come across? Me, I probably had like 10 jobs. No lie. I didn't know. I still don't know what I want to do. I'm sitting here like I don't have a clue. I don't know what's going to happen next month, next year. I'm just going with the flow.
Take every day as it comes.
Yeah, taking it as day as it comes. So it's like once you find what clicks for you, and then it works, like this podcast is working. So like you were saying, you're like this all happened in the space of a week. I can remember it like yesterday, the moment when I first came across the podcast. I was in my last week in my job. There was nothing to do. So I whipped out my laptop, designed the logo, started looking at ways to do the podcast. And 2 days later, I spent like a ridiculous amount of money on equipment. I got like trigger happy, and then that's what happened. That's when it all started.
But you just need to find your passion. That's what it is. It's like you need to see something that you actually enjoy. Like when you're a kid, everyone enjoys playing football. Yeah. But it's when you have that deep passion of, I want to do this for a living. That's when people keep going, keep training every day, every single day to become a footballer.
That's also where I want to go into something, because with a lot of these things, YouTube, football, businesses, a barrier a lot of the time is finance. Yeah. For example, with football, like a lot of, I'm going to stereotype a bit here, a lot of African families don't believe their children can make it to be a footballer. I don't think a lot of them believe it, or prefer them to go into education. You know what I'm saying? So might not put the money into football.
But they're just thinking logically, that's the thing.
It's true, but what I'm saying is like, so the passion could still be there for you to go and kick ball every day. The passion could still be there for you to set up that business you always wanted to do. But you might not have that investor that you know right in front of you. It's
that support system. Like, I remember the same with me. Like, I used to, I don't know if you know about it, but with Arsenal back in the day, remember I was meant to go to Hampstead to train with the, like, this is like the under 12s or something like that. Just to play a time ago. And then my dad had to pay 60, like had to pay for like the kits and for transport and to take me. And my dad was like, no, it's like, why am I doing this for? Because it was like tryouts. So you go there and you'd play there, and they'd give you like, you'd be there for like 2 months. And like, if people see that they like, and then this is when I was young. This is I'd say like 10, 11. I'm like, it's an Asian. It's an Asian.
Say such an Asian dad thing to say.
It's just like, no, like, nah.
You're gonna become a lawyer.
Not to be like like, if it was like, I say, a white family, or like the dad would drive them up or something. I'm not saying my dad's done a bad thing, because at the end of the day, maybe it's just not meant to be for me. Like, I feel like things happen for a reason. But like, I feel like when it comes to like maybe African or Asian cultures, even Arab cultures, it's like the cultures can almost be a barrier for that next step sometimes. And like, 'cause how many African footballers you see, but how many Asian footballers are there?
That's what I'm saying.
No, there's none. I don't know any.
I can understand that to a certain extent, because all our families come from third world backgrounds, you know what I'm saying? So from their perspective, it's like they left their countries to get jobs so their kids could learn where they couldn't, you know what I'm saying? So I can fully respect that, but at the same time, that finance can also come as a barrier to a lot of, these things we're saying that we so-called failed at. But, it shouldn't be, we shouldn't call it failure, there's still ways to go about it. We just need to find that lane or whoever,
So there's also that cultural pressure on failing and also going to university.
Yeah, that's a big issue, man. Honestly, that really like pisses me off a little bit.
Yeah, it's annoying sometimes. But like, it's like, I feel like in Asian cultures, a lot of comparisons being made. So and so has gone to this. So and so has done this.
Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. I think this problem is like a little bit wider than just like subcultures. I think mainly society itself has certain norms and values whereby if you're not following them, then you're deemed as an outcast.
Outlier,
So, for example, because I'd say the peak of going to university. Well, this has been for centuries, but most certainly like the 80s, 90s, that's when going to university, getting a good job was like the what's the word, man?
What's that?
Come on,
someone help me out, please.
What do you mean?
You're all by yourself, man.
It's the brother, I do this in my podcast all the time. I swear that I always like, what's that word? The method.
Okay.
So that's the method that people used, and it worked. But now we're living in such a complex world where university isn't for everyone.
Yeah.
I myself personally can say for myself that going to university was literally a waste of 3 years of my life. Like, if I had done, because you were saying you were doing Hypebeast, or you were selling like Hypebeast clothes. Is that what it is?
Say items.
I feel mad old. Yeah, items in your first year, but then you didn't pursue it because university got in the way. So the exact same thing happened to me with network marketing. I was doing it for a year and a half. I just about scraped my first year, and the first year is like, it doesn't mean for anything. So I scraped past my first year, and then I stopped because I was like, I basically picked university over this, which could have done really well.
Yeah.
And I was so passionate about it. But it's annoying because at the end of the 3 years, I didn't come out of anything. I'm not using my degree. If anything, I'm doing something completely opposite. I'm starting something completely brand new, straight from the bottom, ground up. And even when I got into marketing, advertising marketing, there's no link from history to advertising marketing.
Yeah.
But I think like when you're in a certain situation, you need to find the good in every situation. So with your university, would you think like the whole experience was just a waste of time?
You must have learned.
There must have been something that
so,
like boosted you up,
and
like changed your mind frame.
Because with university,
your mindset,
it's not always about like education. I mean, it's meant to be mainly, but so I feel like university can grow you as a person. You come across many aspects and many scenarios which change you as a person. It makes you realize who you actually are.
I'd say there was a lot of extracurricular stuff that I was doing. So there's a society that I created in there, Nando's Society.
Nah,
I swear down. Nando's.
Nando's.
I don't know if you've seen in our podcast, there's like a trend. We always try and get Nando's,
sponsor us, man. We want them. Okay, right, back on
a little hiccup.
In this episode. Where do we leave?
Bro, that's how you know a podcast is real, man. You need a little bit of technical issues, man. You need it to be legit.
Can't rely on technology always.
We were talking about Nando's.
Oh yeah, Nando's
Society.
We want black card.
Bruv, I thought, do you know, I proper legitly thought I was going to get a black card, for making this Nando's Society.
Really?
It's so unheard of. They don't have anything, because basically with I don't know what it's like in here, but with university societies, you can't have an affiliation with an actual company.
What?
Really?
Is that a thing?
You can't have it. Boy, it was like, that was the case at QM.
Actually, I wouldn't be so...
No, actually,
can you think of any that have an affiliation? No, I don't think...
None of them do, but it's because they're like... They have their own names, but it's within the industry, like investment society, or finance society.
Yes, you can't.
But then they do collaborations with them, like events and stuff. I guess.
But you can't dedicate like a whole society. I don't know how we did it, fam. Like, because I was mad passionate, so I went into the meetings like, yo,
how can you not be passionate about Nando's?
This is the case, fam. We're doing the society, whether you like it or not, with like the society, the organization. So we managed to do it, and it was mad. We planned out like a whole routine for the whole year to go out on like a Nando's evening, like a dinner to a different branch, like different restaurant, once a month. And we had some other stuff as well. Like, imagine we dedicated a whole lecture to teaching people about the secret sauce. We didn't do it, but we were going to, innit? We were going to have special guest speakers come from the Nando's restaurant to speak about the sauces and the chickens and shit. But this was proper legit. Like, we were mad passionate. I've got pictures about it on it as well. Like, we've got like a pull-up banner. It's probably still at my uni. Like,
so we proper took it forward then. Like,
we proper took it forward.
Wow,
so I say that's one thing that I really took advantage of at uni, just being mad creative.
Yeah.
Even YouTube, I think I was doing YouTube back then as well. I can't remember. But
you used to work at a go-karting place, didn't you?
Yes, I worked at a go-karting company during my time at uni as well. I also worked at Barclays. I also worked at Nando's. Fam, I've been all over the place.
Oh, so you got
that experience
there. You're
jack of all trades.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know, man.
What position did you enjoy the most? What company did you enjoy the most? Would you say?
I think I did a graduate scheme at a marketing company. This was before the place that I was speaking to you about. So I did like a 6-month placement where I was working in the post room downstairs in the basement. It was literally just delivering letters and stuff and packages to people around the building. But it was the most fun I've had in my life. My manager was so calm. You know what we used to do in the afternoon? We used to go on Worldstar Hip Hop, watch fights.
Your manager.
This guy was a white don. Like, he was a proper English guy, like a geezer.
Yeah.
And coming in the morning with a newspaper, we used to talk about football news and anything else. Like, it was like, he wasn't like, I didn't even see him as a boss. Like, it was one of them ones where it was just like boys. And we used to watch fights in the afternoon, have our lunch and just chill, kick back. But it was, I feel like that was the moment where I sort of realized, like, I really want to do something in line with marketing and advertising in the creative industry. I mean, I think it's a good thing to try out everything, because then you get a good idea as to like what you like, what you dislike.
Yeah.
Like I thought Barclays was going to be my job for life. When I got the job, I was so excited.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I thought I was caking. Like, I'm living life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have like 5 cars, 2 different houses. Like 5 times a year.
Yeah.
These times, after the first month, I hated it. I wanted to
really?
leave.
What was
as
wrong?
soon
What
as
was wrong
possible.
with it? What did you not like?
My
about
manager was militant. Like she was next level, and it was retail banking. I don't know what I was thinking. Like I was standing in the banking
to that level,
hall.
It's intense. It's like
Yeah.
every day
Yeah.
you have to be on job. You have to meet
Yeah.
your targets. You have to do the work.
It's not only retail things you need to think about, like customer service and just like being aware of what you're doing at all times, but it's like process as well. Because you're at a bank, you need to know specifically what you're doing and what to do and what not to do. So, for example, if someone's using a cash machine and if someone is helping, they can't do that. They're not allowed to do that. Things like keeping certain doors open, certain doors closed. And yeah, it just wasn't for me, man.
I mean, recently I went into my local branch, Santander in Crouch End, and and there was like a new Asian guy in there, like he's training there. And I was in quite a rush, and I was putting a check in, and then it was like, they just like, okay, so you press this number, and I was just like, I had my car parked, I needed to go like ASAP, and I was like, don't they train you before this? Like he seemed like he didn't know
what to do.
Anything.
But it's nerve-wracking, man. When you're in like a situation like that,
it's
dealing with someone in a rush, it makes you panic. Like, oh my god, they're in a rush. I need to do this quickly.
I didn't come across as in like, oh, I need to go quick. I just gave it as like, I want to cash this in, and they should instantly just go and like press this. He didn't know as anything like what to press or where to go.
That's what happened.
Okay, that's wrong practice then.
In my head, I was just thinking, because he literally has to call over and be like, oh, it's a check. What do I do with a check? I was like, but then if you're working at a bank and you're working behind the counter, you should not.
That's exactly what happened with me. It's the same thing that happened
like
to me. They just push you out. So the first thing they'll do, they'll put you on a computer for 2 weeks, get you to know all of the rules, all of the things about the banking system, all of that crap, and you 90% of the things that you learn, you won't need to use. They put you on the banking hall, which is the outside bit, and you're there.
You're just thrown into it.
You're there. You're thrown into it. And
it's like learn as you go.
Yeah, if someone needs help with anything, you try and you try and figure it out yourself. Otherwise, you call someone for help. But yeah, man, it's like I didn't like that at all. It took me like 6-7 months to get on a till.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long were you there for? A year?
I think just shy of a year, just under a year.
Did you leave a year? Like, did you leave or did you?
It got so bad, I had to lie that I got another job. I just had enough. I was like, fam, this is mad.
I think there's like a statistic where it says most graduates have changed at least a job every year or two.
Yeah, that's me. I haven't been anywhere longer than a year, I don't think.
Because at the end of the day, none of us really know what we want to do.
Because you're experimenting.
Like,
you're still young. You have the opportunity to try out different fields, try out different industries, and see what you really enjoy.
Yeah, definitely. I want to talk about social media and society's pressures on like the younger generation.
Yeah,
it's a very big thing. I feel like a lot of young kids do things not out of they want like their own will. It's out of keeping a sort of image online.
Yeah, man. This is where I said before, like we live in a completely different world now. It's a completely different ball game. It's not about going to uni. It's not about getting a 9 to 5. It's not about like all of the basic things that you used to do in life is out the window. It's free for all now. It's literally free for all now. Yeah. We are living in a time now where everything has changed so much. Like we don't know what the future generation is going to look like.
No. Yeah.
Like I'm gonna do a podcast after this, and I was telling you guys about the thing that happened in America with the kids, the college kids that were in a protest, and they were standing in front of a Native American who was playing his drums, and it was like a really intense sort of.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that,
and I was thinking, like, are we at a stage now where they're not even youth? They're probably the same age as us or a little bit younger. We're at a stage now where things like respect, things like respecting elders, it goes out the window. And I think social media is such a toxic environment.
It's desensitized everything.
Yes, that's a key word. That's a very key word. Desensitized.
So when you go online, you can find anything you want.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
Definitely.
Just on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can find pages where there's fighting, there's killings, gangs, affiliation, everything.
Take it to the point of like
on Instagram alone.
Like say for instance like the bombings and stuff. When you hear about it now, you just say like
Yeah, it's gotten to a
But
point
it
now where
should not
people
be
are
that.
just like,
oh yeah, it's a bombing. It's happened. Or like say in America, this one is quite crazy. It's like when a shooting happens, you go, it's just another school.
yeah,
It's like
that's mad.
Why has it come to the stage where it's just
at the same time? That's very true. Like why it shouldn't have gotten to the stage, but at the same time, would you agree with like a system like China has, where it's a very closed ecosystem? And your access to the internet is very limited, and what you can search, what you can find out. Do you agree? Would you say you agree with that?
I think it's the problem that people are using free speech too far. So where they feel like they can say whatever they want when they want because they're behind the screen.
Do you know what it is? I'll be honest with you, and this is going to sound a bit controversial, but I just think generally speaking, human beings are just dumb. Like we've come to a stage now where our I've forgotten the word again. Where people's IQs have dropped.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know whether I'm someone special, but anytime I hear shit on the stuff on the news. Anytime I hear stuff on the news, I used to love going to Speaker's Corner. Yeah, you know Speaker's Corner. I used to love going to Speaker's Corner.
I hate that.
The vibes I
walked
intense.
there once. I stood there.
Yeah.
I saw everyone like crowding around and talking, and I was like, "Nah, man."
It's just so many heated arguments now.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So now I don't go there. But before I used to love going there. There was so many intellectual conversations. Like,
back in the day, yeah. Definitely,
now,
I've seen that.
I see bare right wing man go there. Like, you're a prophet. This. Like 6-year-old. This and that. I'm just like, what kind of world do we live in? Am I the only sane guy?
Yeah.
And I feel like social media, the problem with social media is it creates norms and values.
Yeah.
It has literally created a wall between traditional social norms and values and everything else goes. And I'm someone who hates traditional norms and values. I'm someone who's a firm believer in, do whatever you want to do, break the barriers as long as you're not harming anyone else or having a negative impact on society. Do what you want, you know?
Yeah.
Like express yourself openly. But now social media is the key player in how people's thoughts are driven, what they choose to wear, who they're affiliated with,
what they eat,
bro. It's so big, and I'm so grateful that I've got this sort of mindset and like outlook, and I can clock it, because people are like, social media is their lives. Like I got a notification on my phone, it's like your screen time is like 4 hours and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I get that weekly.
For me, even 4 hours is like raw.
Wait, how about we do this right now? Everyone's like, let's stop. You just get your phone out. See your screen time.
Yeah.
Can you check your one?
Mine goes down every week,
but mine is usually like by the end of the day, my screen time is usually 4 hours.
Let's just see how much.
How do you check it?
Just go on your settings and go on screen time. Right.
I got it.
Yeah, mine's usually
Are we talking about today? Just today.
Last 7 days. Special last.
Where is it?
So if you go in your settings,
there
should be screen time somewhere out there.
You can just search it. I'll say mine. 4 hours and 6 minutes.
I think that's very close to mine.
Mine's like 4 hours.
Per day, so it's 4 hours 6 minutes average.
Your one's not really showing these.
Oh, deep.
Maybe it's not active.
So my last.
As you use your iPhone, screen time will be reported here. Okay.
You just don't use your phone.
Cool. I did get notifications today though.
Your one was
Let me
what?
see if I can find a notification.
4 hours and 6 minutes.
Mine. Oh wow, I don't want to say mine.
What's yours?
Mine says last 7 days, 6 hours 18 minutes per day.
But do you know
mine's
what
like 4.5?
Because I spend more time on my laptop now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I don't use my phone as much as I used to.
It's
gone down gradually.
I use my phone for work. Use my phone for.
But see, this is the thing. As much as it creates these norms and values in which it casts so many people out, it has prevented people from stifling their creativity. For example, where like I don't know, parents might tell their children, "Oh, like you're good at music, but like go into education because it's more lucrative, or I just think it'll be better for us and the family."
Yeah.
You can go on Insta, go on Facebook, go on YouTube, and you can make a name for yourself there. There's so many artists who have made a living off YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify.
Yeah, man.
So
like
it's
Justin Bieber.
Post Malone was SoundCloud, Chance the Rapper was SoundCloud, Dua Lipa was YouTube, Soulja Boy was YouTube, like so many of these. So like
money to be made.
There's money to be made.
Yeah.
In a case in which, as parents or as people, sometimes you aren't supported in your creativity because, other people don't believe it as much as you do, what I'm saying? Yeah. So it has done a lot of good, but you know, as we were saying, a lot of bad comes with that.
Yeah,
as
because
with
like, if you
everything.
look at the younger generation, yeah, look what they're getting into, look what they're doing. Back in the day, I've seen young kids with phones. Back in those days, I didn't even have a phone.
Yeah, Charles, I got my first phone like this is mad embarrassing. Like probably in year 11.
But back then it wasn't like weird to you only got a phone in year 11. It wasn't weird, but it was like all right, cool. But now if you don't have a phone when you're like 10, it's like what the hell?
Like,
why haven't you got a phone? Like
I was having this discussion with my missus, my girlfriend the other day, and I was like, I don't know if I want to have kids. You know, big man things. I don't think I can bring a kid into this world and raise it because I'd be so shook to see what they come out, how they would come out. Like
scary.
You see 12-year-old girls, with like full face of makeup.
Yeah.
I just find that weird. Booky, but so weird. I forget 12, like as young as 10. I see that, I'm just like, no, like,
but
really.
Again, for both boys and girls, it's like boys, young kids, now are acting mad hard.
Yeah,
like they're about to do something. Like you will see them on road, like, they're coming back from GCSE lesson.
The other day, that 14-year-old boy got
and that's mad.
That happened to me the other day, man.
Where?
He was on a moped. You didn't hear about that 14-year-old boy?
No, but these little kids, like these little boys, that they think there's something extra now. They feel like it's okay to disrespect women.
But is it really social media? Or is just,
and that's what I'm saying.
Or is it just like
I think
area?
social media has a very big part to play because everything is there.
Yeah.
So there's specific niches in social media. So for example, there's this massive conversation right now happening, certainly in the political light, to do with drill music. How drill music is influencing
drill music's been like
it has
throughout history for the past God knows how long, since it was underground. It's always been a target for police, always. Like two rappers got
because
arrested
they bait themselves
for
out,
their song. But there's no like, I don't think there's any evidence. They just arrested them because they said something in the song.
No, but I think now, see, I like the point that you just raised. But the question is, why are we seeing drill music now? Because of social media. It's a trend. It's become a trend. It's become a fashion statement. A lot of our youth are now, they want to dress like that, talk like that. They want to make the same music as that, like that. But look, I don't want to blame it solely on social media. Society has a big role to play as well.
100%.
And the way that especially our elders, because they have such a fixed and sort of ignorant mindset on how life should be, they're sort of stuck, in the 80s or the 70s, and completely ignoring the direction that we're going into now. Like my parents, for example, shout out to my parents. They've given me everything. They've probably done the best job that they can do to raise me. But single-handedly, they have sort of put me in a situation where I am worse off than they would have been. I'm so blessed that my parents, they own a property. Otherwise, I'd be pissed. So I mean, I'd be really, really bad off.
Let's touch on this one. And this one's, you see it all the time, the influence of social media and goals. So it's like fake Instagram influencers. So when someone sees someone on Instagram, someone putting up like, I've got this Ferrari, got this Lamborghini, look at my big mansion, and how some people take that and they run with that. That's now my goal. And obviously they don't reach that because it's not like saying you can. I'm not saying no one can, but like how that can also that demotivates people. So it's like almost staying true to yourself. Stop looking around. Like,
well, that's the thing about social media, isn't it? That's just one person thinking I can fake it till I make it. But then once you have hundreds of thousands of people following you, they don't really know your true intentions or what you're doing, but they have the license to just follow and copy what you're doing. So they're just going to imitate it and then realize they're going to hit that brick wall. And like, it's not like our parents' generation where everything they watched and consumed was filtered, like the TV. You only see certain things, they only show you certain things. You can literally see anything. So you have the license to follow or take up any personality or influencer that you see.
I'm so done with people. Like, I'm so done with these traders, these forex traders who
who try to get people.
Have you seen it at the start of every YouTube video?
Have you
seen them?
The Facebook. It's like there's a forex.
If you want a Lamborghini, please follow me.
I have made this much income in the last month. Here's my training that I go through.
Their pyramid schemes.
It's just crazy.
So when you join them, you pay them to join.
But
and then they take a
they
cut
take your
from what
money.
you
The
make.
annoying thing is, we watch these, and we instantly just catch them. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's gotten to a point
But
now
it-
where it's
but
just like
there's-
you can just suss it straight
but
away. The
there's-
first word.
But there's some people out there that watch these and they go, "Oh my god, I need to now sign up."
Yeah.
And
Because-
it's so sad to see because these people are actually taking advantage of others.
Of course.
Like-
Of course.
And this-
Yeah, sorry.
yeah, no, go.
Because I was just gonna say, yeah, like when they see so many people following or watching these videos, they're just gonna think, oh wow, like this many people have benefited off, investing this money, and they follow suit, and they come out with it with nothing. Sad.
But like this, no, you were gonna speak, so you go.
No, go. I'll wait. Yeah.
So like with social media on Instagram, there's like different industries. There's the fitness industry where like these guys and these girls with crazy bodies, and people think that's obtainable in a month.
Nah,
Yeah.
long.
So they follow the crazy
long.
routine, and then when they reach a month, they're like, "Wait, I don't look like that person.
where's it
Fall
gone?
off and
What?
binge. Yeah.
All these supplements.
This is a scam. I didn't get that body. Where's my six pack?"
Yeah,
So
trust.
that's how people are like. And the same thing with Hypebeast clothing.
Yeah.
It's a competition on Instagram constantly.
Yeah. What is this? Like I saw this video the other day. It was like a bunch of 12-year-olds.
Outside Supreme, showing how much their stuff
how much
was.
their stuff is.
Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, the Unknown Vlogs does that video,
like
right?
These guys,
These
outside
times I was
Supreme
just
in
like-
Canada,
Yeah.
£2,000 jacket,
Yeah.
5K on the crepes, necklace 500, shirt 200.
Necklace 500, yeah. Necklace 500.
No, but
Where they get this
it's
money
mad.
from?
I was gonna say,
It's
from these
reselling.
times your dad's buying this for you, so like,
Yeah,
come
of
on, sit
course.
down.
Parents are buying it.
Some of these kids are reselling.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But the thing is, some of these kids are ruining
Have
the
the
resale
money
market.
to resell. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
they're ruining
They're
the resale
ruining it,
market.
yeah, that's the thing
Because
as
they
well.
sell for too low.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm out.
It's good though. You in it at the right time, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
about picking your time, isn't it?
I was gonna say actually, this is why I've lost complete faith in social media. Because like you were saying, social media is like you can take it either way. It's like it's either one of the greatest blessings or it's one of the biggest curses, because you can use social media to I forgot the word again.
Yeah.
Wow.
Another one.
To lift yourself up.
Yeah.
And this, for me, personally, I'd love to use social media to get my podcast out there.
Yeah.
Even with YouTube, like I'd love to do it, but unless I fake myself, I can't do that. I find it so hard to try and grab an audience unless I do something, use some sort of method which isn't really like genuine. Do you know what I mean?
Something to counter that I would say is I've seen it for myself. I feel like there's a new trend in viewers that are like organic people that are liking the raw and real side of people. So because I've recently seen a lot of videos of like on like the comments on videos saying, "Oh, I hate the clickbait you're doing. I hate this you're doing. I hate that you're doing." I feel like there's a new market of people that are loving the organic side of things.
And yeah, that's an evolution of of the people who are following all of these influencers and stuff. Like it's coming to a point where like, tell us when you're going to do an advertisement. Like you can't be selling this if we don't know,
You have to say like hashtag ads.
It's like a hashtag ad
or on
and stuff.
Instagram,
Oh,
it
yeah,
has to
I've
say
seen that.
sponsored by,
Yeah.
sponsored by
Yeah.
whoever it is.
And bare MUAs are beginning to, use products but not give the actual real sort of review on it.
Yeah. People
Like,
do that as
people
well.
are just using products. Like, oh my god, it's amazing.
Yeah, and it's
like-
not like that.
And don't give a
really.
review. And they're just getting the
It's
money
like
in
them
their
Slim
pocket.
Teas.
Yeah,
Oh my
and
god,
all
they're
of that
everywhere,
stuff.
aren't they? Like,
Everywhere.
I drink
For the
this all-
past like 5 years.
I drink this all the
been active.
time, and like, if you actually ask them, have you opened a pack yet? They'd be like, "Oh, no."
Did you guys hear about Fire Festival?
No.
This
Wait,
thing-
In America?
The
Yeah,
guy
in
that had
America.
like the worst festival. There was no
Yeah.
artists.
So basically, he was an entrepreneur who overestimated and lied about his net worth.
It's like
Basically,
Fizzy Troop.
yeah, and
love,
Yeah,
some
and he worked on it with Ja Rule, and basically said it was supposed to be the best festival of all time on this island, out in the Caribbean. It's gonna have all of these models, Bella Hadid, Kendall Jenner, and they all marketed it on their Instagram. It's gonna have
They
all
marketed
of
it as well.
So you basically you pay for it, right?
Yeah.
And then they fly you out to the island. You stay there on the island. You see all of these great concerts. It's supposed to be basically the next big thing from Coachella.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody invested, I think, over £6 million invested in it. Kendall Jenner put it out on her Insta. Bella Hadid, all of these people to sell
Why
it.
did they invest?
No.
They didn't invest.
One-
they just got paid
Okay,
to market.
Yeah,
Right,
one,
right,
they
right,
just
right.
got paid to market. They never said it was an ad.
Yeah.
Some people got flown out there. The island was literally deserted.
Yeah.
They had to stay in little tiny tents. None of the artists showed up to the event.
So what
artists.
What was this guy?
The guy was literally laundering the money. 6 million.
My days.
He had been using Instagram as a platform to lie about his net worth and how big he was as a person.
What did you run after that?
And right now he's in jail.
Is he in jail?
Right now he just went to court.
With it?
Of course,
how dumb can you
go
be?
away? I
thought he was still out.
I think he's on bail.
So stupid.
He's on bail. He's on bail now. He's on bail.
I've seen pictures of him.
Yeah, he's on bail.
It's crazy, right?
And it's crazy that all of these like models were advertising it as well.
If you pay them and they're gonna post it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
look, these days money talks.
Yeah, money talks.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Money
Everything's about money nowadays. Everything's about materials, about how much clout.
Yeah, clout. Yeah,
I
clout
hate that
chasing.
That number, that name, clout. Do you have anything else? Anyone?
Oh wow,
We covered a lot.
We covered a lot.
I wanted to cover one thing before we end this. It's the topic about. It's a bit different to what we usually talk about. It's the topic about the footballer Salah going missing.
Yeah, I was going to speak about this tonight as well on my podcast.
It's quite mad, and the fact that they've done their private funding and they've restarted the search.
They restarted it.
Yeah. I think it's like a GoFundMe or something.
It's so tragic. Like,
for
a footballer to become. Where did he come from?
Nantes, France.
From there to come to
just over the English.
Literally,
come on, man. How much
that's
more?
That's a big step up.
And it's like the search isn't even that big. You know where he's come from. It's just around the corner. You just need to look in that patch of land.
Yeah.
I know it's a big patch of land, but it's not like the Mediterranean Sea or something. Do you know what I mean? I find it a bit ridiculous.
They raised like 234,000.
That's amazing. Yeah,
and all footballers have been posting on their
Instagram.
Themselves because I don't know why they stopped the search. Honestly,
when
I heard that annoyed me. I was like, "What do you mean?"
It was way too soon. Imagine to tell the family that soon.
No,
it was in the evening. It was in the evening.
It was the third day. They're like, the chances of survival are slim. We can't find anyone, so we're gonna stop the search. Like, I heard that and I was like, "What the hell do you mean?"
Yeah.
For example, say if anyone, from like the UK went missing like that, there'd be searches going on. Like, this is like, come on, like. Did you hear what Kante said? He said he'd fund the whole search himself.
Kante, he's a G, man.
Kante's the guy, fam.
Yeah, he literally said it. But like, I mean, I just hope he get like. I don't know.
It's just for the family.
How can you tell the family that soon?
Like,
after
you're never
3
gonna
days?
be able
like,
to like.
Basically, we're done with searching. Like, you're not gonna find.
It's been a week now, so I don't know about survival though.
Of course, survival's slim, but at least give them something to like
to say goodbye.
But the Sun come out with this newspaper article saying, with all this going on, they go, "Oh yeah, the pilot didn't have a license." Like, why would you have to drop random BS?
Why did they let him in the airport?
Do everything. Apparently, this guy hadn't flown a plane. He lived somewhere up in the northern side of England. He hadn't flown regularly in like decades, and they let him fly that plane.
But these are just stories that we're hearing. That's the thing.
No, but the thing is, like, Salah, like, his final messages, which they've put online, is like he told his family in voice notes and messages that he was scared. Like,
really?
Yeah. Like, you can read about it.
The plane was like falling apart.
Yeah, he was like, I'm so scared. Like,
so if you don't hear, he's like something like, if you don't hear from me from an hour and a half, there's something wrong.
Fam, I don't know what kind of world we're living in. It's actually mad.
And then you know what's spooky? The sponsor of Cardiff City
Visit Malaysia.
Visit Malaysia.
Yo.
And Malaysian Airlines always go.
Yeah. It's on, MH370.
Controversial.
I just want to talk about that quick.
Fam, that's mad weird.
If anything,
mad weird.
Just pray for Salah, to be honest.
Just pray for him and the family as well.
I just want to hope that there's hope that like he gets found or something. Or for the family.
Or at least they find something
for the family,
to have some
it's such a tragedy.
Closure.
It's the same thing that happened to the owner of
Leicester City.
Yeah, the helicopter.
That was just random.
Like the way
he's literally in the air, he's about to go.
But you know, the way I broke it down on the podcast, I basically said like the day that he bought the club, he was effectively signing his death warrant. It's mad.
Which is
sad.
When you think it's sad. And that guy was such a he invested in charity. He invested so much into. He literally won them the Premier League.
He made Leicester who they are right now.
Yeah, he won them the Prem, which is crazy.
Yeah. So it's been a
great episode.
Good episode.
Yeah, man.
Thank you
for coming.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate that. Honestly, I've been buzzing for the last week to come on. So
it's been great. Words of wisdom as well. You said quite good there. Let's touch on sponsoring. So if anyone again wants to sponsor the podcast, because we take sponsors, email us, DM us, and like and subscribe our videos. And this should be going out soon.
Yeah, we'll go very soon.
We'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah, go check out the Tomato Podcast.
Yeah,
check out Tomato Podcast as well.
Everything will be in the description.
Please.
So.
Please.
All right, we'll see you guys.
See ya.
Cool. Thank you very much.